Hello everyone, welcome to Sister Tumi's channel. I am Oluwatumise Tumininu. Today we are discussing a very important topic: COVID-19 infection and school resumption. How we can prevent the spread of COVID-19 infection amongst our pupils. And generally speaking, the tips on how to prevent this infection according to CDC is that the very first one is that we must learn how to wash our hands with soap and clean water. In my next video, I'm going to teach us how to thoroughly wash our hands so that it will be free of infection. But today, we want to talk about the tips on how to prevent the spread of infection. And the number one thing, and the very first important thing, is to wash our hands with soap and clean water. Number two thing is that we must try to avoid a crowded place. But unfortunately, our school, they are resuming now, and I know I'm bringing on the board an entrepreneur and a school proprietor. Is going to tell us how he's going to distance the students from each other so that it will prevent the spread of this infection. The number two thing is that we must learn how to cover our mouth with the bent elbow. If you are going to sneeze or you are coughing, you cover your mouth with your bent elbow so that you can prevent the spread of this infection. Then it is also very important that if you have symptoms of sneezing, headache, fever, you move away from where people are. And if the symptoms persist or you are having a sign of breathlessness, you need to contact health officials. You need to contact the hospital. So I've talked about proper hand washing with soap and water. I've also talked about how we can prevent ourselves from being in a crowded place. Then it is also very important that we maintain social distancing between you and the other person, at least 1 meter or 2 meters apart from another person. And I've also talked about avoiding crowded place. I've told us about how we can make use of our bent elbow to cover our mouth while we are sneezing or we are coughing. Then if any symptoms that we are seeing persist, we must learn to contact the hospital. Here with me today in our studio is an entrepreneur. Mr. Titilayo Kade is an entrepreneur and is the proprietor of a school. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you, madam, and good afternoon. Good afternoon to our listeners at home.
Yes, sir. As a proprietor of a school and as an entrepreneur, what is your preparation for this pupils' resumption? Looking at the standard of CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, how do you want to cope with those pupils when they resume?
Thank you once again. Like we all know, the CDC, they have their own standard and regulation that must be followed. Yes, and strictly, this must be adhered to, likewise in the school. And we've already had our plans on ground before now. Like part of the plans is having a running water in the school premises, making use of your infrared thermometer, having a source of where you will have to carry out the washing of your hand regularly, the hand washing liquid soap. Then you have a point where you have to sanitize yourself. And part of it is our pupils, as they come to school, they must be on nose mask, if possible, face shield. And every parent or guardian that is bringing them to school also must be masked, either through the nose mask or the face shield. And like you all know, in our meeting that we had previously, we already said each child should have a little, if possible, the minimum should be what? 100 ml of a bottled sanitizer. Though the school has its own, but as the kids, as they come to school also and going back home, they should have it at their pocket or in their school bag. This will also serve as a measure to curtail
the spread of COVID-19. Now, you have not mentioned something, and is one of the tips: the distancing. How do you want to cope? No, normal thing. The standard is that people must avoid a crowded place, and we must maintain a particular distance. How do you want to achieve that amongst the pupils?
Sure. If you've been to premises before, you know that we have a large expanse and a large space also. This as will be taken care of as they come back to school. They will be in a class. You will have to reduce the number of pupils there, and the teachers also will have to be on mask. And as you do this, you find out that this will be a way by which you have to prevent the spread. If possible, if any child has contacted it, then that would be a means of avoiding it from being spread to others through the means of social distancing, reducing the number of pupils in a class.
Okay. Now, talking about the face masks, we have different types of masks.
Yes, you're right.
We have N95 respirator, there's a surgical mask, and there's this locally made mask. And normally, the N95 respirator is very effective.
Sure.
It's very effective to prevent the spread of this infection because it can tightly fix into the mouth and the nose. Then it can filter small particles of airborne droplets. But generally speaking, it is usually used by health workers. Even CDC has approved that students can make use, other people in the house can make use of surgical face masks and the locally made face masks. So one, it is expensive, and it is not compulsory that everybody in the house should use N95. But there's another thing. Another one is surgical masks.
Yes.
The advantage of the N95 over surgical masks is that the N95 can filter the smaller particles of airborne infection on droplets, but the surgical mask can only filter the large particles, which makes it not as quality as a surgical. If you are talking about using the face mask, if you want a double protection, you can make use of the shield.
The shield also.
And there is one thing I've seen now in the town is that viewers at home, if you look at this thing on my face, is it not fine on me? It's very nice. Yes. Even the one our proprietor is using, it's very fine on him. I can see people now outside using this face shield to do shakara in the town, and they will be walking all along. The face shield cannot give you 100% protection
at all.
It's either you will use the face mask alone and keep the distance from people around you, or you have a double protection using the face mask and the face shield, because the face mask does not give you 100% protection too, because it can only filter larger particles. So if you want double protection, you can only use face shield with face mask.
Right.
So as an entrepreneur and the owner of a school, what is your plan in making use of shield for students?
Now, like considering the present situation of the country, and as you rightly said, we'll advise our parents to always make use of the sewn face mask.
Okay.
And to have a double protection, we'll also advise them to go for the face shield also. This will prevent the spread of COVID-19. In the provision of the face mask, now, we'll advise that, which we have done from our part anyway, we want to employ our parents that they should provide their kids, their children, with the number of face masks that the school must have given them as an advice. And what do I mean? Like on Monday, we will have a uniform color. On Tuesday, uniform color. Every day of the week, it should be uniformity. Why do I say so? Now, if this will give room for the parents to have an ample time to wash the one that has been used previously.
I was going to help.
Secondly,
yes,
it will prevent each of the kids also from having to have an interest in another person's nose mask. So when there's a uniformity in the color and in the making, it will prevent the kids from my friend Mrs. Color Blue, I love this, wanting to touch it.
Okay.
And that means then this could also have a means by which the virus could be spread along. But once this is in place, there's no way the kid also want to liken the one that his or her classmate is using than what he or she.
So if I can get you right now, that maybe let's say for example on a Monday you choose a particular color that all the students will use.
Yes.
Not that student A will use blue and student B will use, because they can easily be attracted to another person's.
Sure.
But if they are using the same color, there is no any serious attraction.
You're right.
So they won't have to be exchanging
it.
Then the purpose of changing that particular color to another color in the next day is that to ensure that
it is properly washed.
Because if you are using another color in another day, you will have known that you are using the previous one. That's very good of you, sir. Well done, sir. So you have not mentioned how you want to get the face shield to
now,
people,
like
because you are an entrepreneur.
In your introduction, and you've already said it, I'm also an entrepreneur. Okay. I make face shield. Okay. I make the face mask, the sewn one anyway. So, I provide our hand wash, our hand sanitizer also, and the likes. So if you are interested, we supply to schools. Okay. We make and supply to schools,
like the one you are using
organizations, churches, mosques, and so on and so forth. So if anyone is interested, he or she could simply call on these numbers.
Okay.
Now our call number is 080 34 65 6774, and then you can WhatsApp me on 081 13 87 1930.
So that means your resumption is going to be very easy for you, because you are the one making the soap.
Yes.
You are the one making the face shield.
You're right.
So parents can easily get it from you.
They can easily get it, and we've made it readily affordable and very, very easy to use, and according to the standard of COVID.
Thank you very much, sir. So what advice do you want to give to our mothers once again?
Now, once again, I want to advise our parents at home, listeners, that there is COVID-19. It is real.
It's real. Some people will even ask you, where are patients? Sorry. Where are the COVID-19 patients? Where are they admitting them? COVID-19 is real.
It is real.
It is real.
All we need to do is to avoid it coming to us, and thereby taking to every standard and regulation that the NCDC has prescribed and World Health Organization, so that it does not come near us and near our doorsteps. And through this, we are very, very sure that COVID-19 will be totally eradicated within our society.
Now, I also want to say that as beautiful as face shields are, you cannot have 100% protection using only face shield. If you want double protection, you should use your face mask plus the face shield. Please let us endeavor to use our face mask with our face shield, not only using face shield. Then I also want to tell us the way we use this face mask. It is very, very important. Some people will turn it upside down. The face shield, for you to have a normal protection, it has a string on the upper portion of the surgical mask. So when you use the spring, when you cling the spring to your nose, it will not remove easily. But if you use the spring, the face mask, without pressing down the spring, it can easily create a space between it. So let us endeavor to use our face mask. If there is no face shield, you use our face mask, but you cannot use only face shield. But if you want double protection, you can use face shield and face mask. Thank you for watching. I want to appreciate you for coming to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Bye, our viewers at home.
So see you next time on the next video on how to wash our hands properly. Bye.